Hello and welcome back to Project Awesome. Many months ago you'll have seen me climbing over the ZIL, clutching a clipboard, writing down a list of all the jobs that need doing to it. In this episode we'll be able to tick off job number 1, which is paint the cab. There's 2 main items remaining, the front grille here and the doors. We'll also replace some of these tyres, some of these 50-year-old tyres with some lovely new ones. This is the grille. You can tell by the lack of paint it's already been blasted. You can tell by the amount of rust that was a long time ago. So we'll blast this again. Before we do that though, in order to make up a decent load for the blaster, we'll take some wheels off and dismantle them, and then we can blast those too.
Nice. Yeah. There.
Vittles, love, and kissing, waiting at the end of my ride.
So after blasting and priming, the good news is that all the corrosion is limited to this bottom area down here. The rest of it, rock solid. The bad news though is that that corrosion is quite extensive and it's a complicated shape to try and do something about. So we've got a curve, a gentle curve this way, and then multiple curves going down this way. This bit here is what we cut out from the previous attempt at fixing the grille all those years ago. And you can see here the reinforcement. There's another one of these behind this half, and it's similar situation to the bonnet where the reinforcement panel against the front panel has trapped moisture which has eventually worked its way through and caused corrosion. If it seems like a bad design, just bear in mind that this is 50 years old, so as a military vehicle it's way surpassed its design life. I'm going to try, try is the word, to make that shape first. It might not be very doable with the kit that I've got, but I won't know unless I have a go. So I'm going to put in the first fold, which will give me that bit, down, just that first bit there, and then I'll need to fold it again before we then go onto this curve. But I won't know where to put this one until we do this one. Now we've got a tricky curve, and we've got to do this to it as well. But that's a start, that's quite a good start. Perfect. Not easy. Put a crease in it like that. Just move that along as well. Then I can planish it out on that former. That's quite convincing. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. So that is a very close match, that end. This end, there's work to do. So I've got to twist everything over, as well as put a slight curve in it. This has got to come right over to sit on there. We are getting there. This end matches really nicely. It's the transition into the other end I'm still working on, but it is coming together. Yes, this top edge now, you can see the crease comes along there and it disappears up there. I've just started to put a slight curve in that, just a little bit more, and this end will be flush here. It's taken a long time of fiddling about to get all these shapes, but I'm quite happy with it. There's just one thing left to do, so that'll sit in there nicely. It transitions properly down this end, down here. The last thing to do is this last return. So I've got to draw a straight line going along there, and then it'll come along here somewhere. Cut it off about ½ an inch below that line, fold it on that line. And I think to do that, my best bet, because I've got no reference points here at all, but I do have this, which is, well, that's all I've got, so I'm going to go off that. I'll tack it in place and then use that as a beginning, use a straight edge and yeah, do that. Before I do that though, I shall do that side. So I've got to make a mirror image of this. Terribly far off now. Yeah, I'll leave that for a sec. I've got to make a triangle to go in there. It's slightly annoying, but we'll get to that. Pretty good. We're pretty much there with the shape. The last thing to do is to get this final crease in. So I'm going to do is to tack weld both sides in place, and then that'll enable us to mark out for the last fold. That's it there. Here's where we are then. This one is fine. That's going to sit on there. I can work with that. It's going to be great. This side though, I had to flatten out and redo this bend to get it right, but it means that it tapers away to nothing there, so that's not great. I guessed wrong when I drew the line all the way across there and just happened to guess right on this one. I've got a solution though. What I'm going to do is to take this 16x3 flat bar and weld that on top, and that will cover up that cock up, but it'll also add a bit of reinforcement to the very bottom of the grill, which will be a good thing. Next up, I want to clean these, get rid of the remaining paint and rust and such, so we'll fire at the blasting cabinet and then final shaping. There's a lot of dinks in there, so I'm going to try and tidy that up a little bit, and then we can get both of these welded on to the rest of the grill. Yeah. So we've got a triangle to fill in there, and then this strip to go along the bottom. There it is. Structurally, that's it. I'm just going to tidy up. Some of the transitions just need a little tidy up with a skim of filler. So just like there, there. So a little bit of tidy up, but substantially done. And that was a job that was so daunting that the first time we blasted this, years ago, I didn't even start it. Just the idea of shaping the metal to replace the rotten bits was just too much at the time. But it just shows with a bit of patience and a bunch of hammers, you can get there in the end. So this is the section we cut out of the grill, which is completely shot. But behind it is this reinforcement part. Now I haven't put these back in, and I'm not going to. I don't think it needs them. When I built it up, the whole structure seems perfectly rigid without these bits. And because all they've done is trap moisture in there, yeah, I think we're better off without them. So I'll bin those. What we have here is the single most expensive purchase we've ever made for the project, I think.
Yeah.
By some distance. So we have 7 brand new, rather lovely wheel tyres to go on. Not easy to get, because it turns out that tyres for military vehicles like the ZIL are in high demand for some reason at the moment. It was our friend Nick that found these tyres for us. For a contact in the trade, he was able to source some tyres at just the right size, shape and pattern, and because he needs a load for his truck as well, it was worth their while to import a few pallet loads. So thank you, Nick. We shall of course return the favour, and we'll let you use our big yellow tyre machine to fit your ones. Alright, lift up that ring. Don't have to worry about the tread for now.
Yeah.
dragged the doors out. What I want to show you here is the contrast between the two. So this door here looks exactly as you'd expect a 50-year-old truck door to look if it's been left outside its entire life. Once again, as with, well, everything, like the wings, the bonnet, the grille, where you've got metal on metal contact, it's obviously pulled in moisture and rotted through all the way down the seams here, and a big chunk on the corner here. In contrast though, the other door is fine. All the same places on this one, no rust at all. What that means, of course, is loads of work ahead of us on this one. Almost nothing on this one. Basically just rub down paint from what I can see so far. In fairness though, there probably is rot right on the very bottom. Let's get them in on the workbench and have a closer look. Now, unlike the rest of the bits of the ZIL cab, I'm not going to blast the doors. I've thought about it and I just don't think it's worth it. I think we'll just end up with loads of grit inside in the windy window mechanism and so forth. And on this one, it doesn't even need it. Having said that, there is some rot right at the very bottom, so let's dig into that, see how bad it is. Section here I'm going to cut out, a bit there and a bit there, that's it. I'm going to put a tiny skim of filler on there and on there, and then we're ready for sanding the whole thing. And that's it, that's all the metal work done on this door. Plenty on the other one. This one's serviceable, this one's loose, these two are seized up. Driver's top. That took a long time. It gave me time to figure out what to do next with replacing those knackered pins. I'm going to replace the pins with bolts, just as I did on the Land Rover. So I'm going to drill this one out, and then I'm going to tap the bottom to receive a bolt. And I'm going to drill it with a cordless drill because I'm only going up a tiny amount, so it's likely to grab the drill bit, so I'd rather do it by hand, as it were. So this needs to be 10mm, this hole, and this one needs to be 8.5, which it probably is already. this corner next. All crimps on nicely now, and it really tidies up the seam here. You can see a nice rounded seam and even round where the hinges are. I think there's going to have to be a lot of tinkering with the bonnet hinges to get that to actually shut. But for now, I'll tell you what, having the grill on there makes me happy. It's been a very long time since that grill has been on the front of the truck. Years and years. Occurred to me, if I remove these panels, I should be able to get in and adjust the hinges, and then I'll be able to make the bonnet shut properly. That's central now. It's just not. Not too bad, all things considered. I'm happy with that. Right, I feel like we're on a bit of a roll. See what else we can fit on. The light guards are not just decorative, they actually have a structural purpose, and they tie the wing into the grille. That's all very nice now. Oh wow. I'm glad I did that. What a boost. It's really starting to look like a truck again. Ooh, that's quite good.
It's not bad at all. Look at that. Yeah, I mean that lines up pretty well.
So now we've just got a complete lack of mechanism.
Yeah, I mean I don't think any of this is moving.
I don't think it ever did. I think we relied
Okay.
on the driver's door just jamming in place.
Just be it, yeah.
Yeah, it just sort of. But that's nice action, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, fresh pin mark.
no, that's good. Having it.
I reckon there should be a spring on that little hook,
Yeah.
just going up to that little arm there.
So have we got any little springs?
Yeah. Nice.
Closes is what that does.
Closer.
It is a lot closer.
Yeah. It's not slick like the other one.
It feels, it's a positive action though.
Anyway, we'll call that serviceable. Doors aren't quite perfect. This one is. That one's not. But good enough for what we need. The cab is substantially done. The only thing I think that's missing are the
Steps.
steps, yes. And we're going to leave those off because they'll be in the way for doing the next part. So it's done enough, we can tick off item 1, Mark.
Yes!
So after months of effort, we have achieved item 1 on the list. And you might notice there, item 2, brakes. That's what's coming up next. Join us for that. Cheers for now.